King. Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
All right, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys can hear me. Still trying to work out this headset situation. Is weird to me, but I'm not going to go into the details. This is not going to be a long live. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. It's been a long ass day, but I want to give my commentary before it becomes outdated. So I appreciate those who are here. Please don't do the live. I'm gonna because those who are here, I believe in acknowledgement, especially those who drop down. So Rob below, how you doing? Thank you for being here. See you listening in bed. Hopefully my voice won't provide you nightmares. What's up, Brister baby? I'm here for the mess. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. What's up, Cheryl the Spoiler Burnett? Hope you're doing well. Everything is good your way. What's up with Tanya Jones? What's going on? How you doing? Thank you for being here. All right. The real world news situation. Listen, there's a big meeting going on in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and let me tell you something. I wish YouTube, when it's dealing with stuff dealing with finance, politics, that they would not replay videos that's 4 years old. Because I was sitting there listening to something today, and I thought it was something current, but it was something 4 years ago. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, wait. And I went back and I was trying to see, why did this man speak today when they said that he's supposed to speak on Friday? And it was crazy to me. It was just like, so that kind of was annoying. But it's a big meeting. They said supposedly based on what's coming out that meeting that the market is going to move based on what Jerome Powell says. Now Trump is up there trying to remove one of the Fed governors, and I was right. It was a black woman actually that he was trying to remove and said that she committed mortgage fraud. It's very interesting how Trump is trying to get this interest rate down, which leads me, if you're doing all this, then maybe Powell may come back on Friday and say, hey, everything's still not in a good condition and the labor market is still strong and we don't feel comfortable cutting interest rates. And that will get the market spooked. So Friday's a very interesting day. In case you also want to know, Target CEO resigned. It says sales were still low. So that's all I pretty much got to tell you about the real world news. Oh, also, I was going to present y'all a story, but I got to do my research about either China or Japan. They're able now to have a robot. Somehow, I'm going to just put it like this. They found a way to not make it necessary for a human to be involved in the birth of a human or nurturing the baby in the stomach. They said that could all be done artificially through a robot or whatever they got going on. But I think that's crazy because they're pretty much cutting out what they call them, surrogate mothers. So pretty much you don't need a surrogate mother. So they found a way to replace the surrogate mother with, I guess, a robot or whatever you want to call it. So that's very interesting. I don't have all the details, but I will do my research on that and hopefully circle back with you on that. What's up, Ron P? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. Ron P said, oh my, what's up, JLC87 Productions? How you doing? Now, let me tell y'all something that really bothered me the motherfucking day. It really bothered me. Many things do not bother me. But today, I have an issue dealing with older black men. I don't know what it was. Ever since I was youngin', older black men have always rubbed me the wrong way. For some reason, they come at me the wrong motherfucking way. I had an issue today where this dude tried to come. I don't know what it was. He tried to tell me how I should engage in the situation. I'm like, I was just like, I don't know. It's just like black. That's all. This is what I want to say. Older black men, they gotta learn how to talk to us youngins, us young people, and I think that's part of the disconnect. Because homeboy was trying to check me, and he like, I'm 50 years old, and I was like, I don't give a fuck if you 50 or you 23. It's just how you come at a dude, and it's just like because people think they're older, they think they can come at you a certain way, and I'm like, nah. And I don't. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm not going to detail, but it's just like I always have an issue, no matter where I go, with older black men. I don't have an issue with white men. I don't have an issue with no other. Just it's just like older black men. They feel like they gotta come at me a certain way, and it's coming at me in a way in which like they feel threatened or whatever. It was just weird, and I just think that's the situation why in our black community, our young people don't have respect for our older black men because they come at us disrespect. They come at us disrespectfully. They come at us disrespectfully, and then two, the way they come at us is if they threatened or insecure. It's like you can't do that. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Like I just want to share that with y'all. 'Cause I was just like, I was just like. Yeah, issues with older black men. It's just, I had to reflect on my life. And I always had an issue with older black men, no matter what. Even if I didn't say nothing, like they just rub me the wrong. But I don't know. When you reek of greatness, those who are not great get insecure. I guess I don't know. So that's what I wanted to share. Now, this is what I wanted to share with y'all the other day when I was having technical issues. Hopefully, and I got that. What's up, soul sister? I got the technical issues resolved, and it was regarding, I put lemons, YT trying to dox lemons, right? So, this is what our content, or part of our content creator studio, a portion of it, not all of it, looks like in the background. So I tell you, they constantly changing stuff on the back end. If you're a content creator, you understand understand what I mean. So on the back end, they now added this situation, whatever it's called, if you can see it, called inspiration. So I guess what it's now doing is that it's coming up with ideas for you to do for your next live, which is weird, but whatever. They trying to, I guess, help you create content. And these suggestions, now this is not nothing I've ever asked them to help me with. This is something that they have put. They got inspiration, video, shorts, live posts, da 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 da. So part of the inspiration is that is success really worth the sacrifice? My honest take. Then they have this is the part where I was talking about lemon. They trying to YT trying to expose or dox lemon. So part of one of the suggestions they have is expose lemon service dog registry reveal. And I was like, what? Because in order for you to get Lemon's service dog registry, and while they sit up there, so I don't know if they're taking things that we said and trying to formulate something, and then they have Pizarro's marriage mystery, Tommy and Castro speak. So obviously they're trying to pick up on what we're saying, but they don't know exactly how to put it together, right? So this is there. Then they saying, maybe are they encouraging the doxing of Pizarro? I don't know. And then they said dishing the dirt, social media's current love hate dramas. So they're pretty much picking up on what we're talking about and trying to help us formulate ideas. So yeah, so it's interesting. But I was like, are they trying to encourage people to dox Lemon to see where his dog came from, which will then in turn lead one hand to the other. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all. Obviously, I didn't click on that or anything else further than that because I think that those things didn't really interest me. But they're trying, I guess, help people create content and come up with ideas. But some of those ideas may be intrusive, which they don't, I guess, didn't take into account. Um. So yeah. So that's very interesting. By Ron P. And Brixton Bay says, "Woo child." All right, so let's get into what's been going on today. It's not gonna be a very long live because, like I said, it ain't too much that's really gone on. What's up? HTX Sweetie. I also saw the hype feature that they're testing out. What's that? What's the hype feature? I haven't seen that, but thank you for sharing that with us, HTX Sweetie. Um, so let's talk about Jay Wilson and his cutting of his the last of his follicles on his face. Um, I'm, I mean, he look like I put it, he looked weird. He looked weird as hell. It's yuck. He don't look good at all. He looked like a snapping turtle. That's what he looked like to me. He looked like a brown snapping turtle with glasses. Now he can sit up here and say, "Oh, he wanted to try a new look," but let me tell you why. Because I had to sit up here and says, "What you say, ATX sweetie?" It says also subbies allow subbies to use points to hype up a video. Basically pushes it. I got you. But basically what we think is the thumbs up button. But thank you for sharing content on Lemon Service Dog. Should be interesting. What's up, Agent 007? It should be, but like I said, in order for that to happen, that would have to be the doxification of the situation. HTXC says, I've only seen it on a few videos. Yeah, they're trying out a lot of stuff, I guess, I don't know, to validate why they should get laid off. I don't know. It's a lot of shit going on. You see what I mean, before I came on, um, I'm gonna get back into Jay Wilson in a minute. Don't think I forgot about that. But before I came on, Streamyard asked for a survey and I ripped their ass apart. I gave them a one. I said I'm not going to probably use it in the future. And then I also said why, because they raised the price up and they're doing too much. I said all these features that they added is leading to confusion. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. Save the money. Save the money on whatever y'all doing or whoever y'all hire. Because the only reason I'm using this month features is because they ran up in my account. My audio sounds muffled. Sorry about that. I don't know. Like I said, this is new headset, but thank you for letting me know, Lawanda Dix. The other day was sounding good, so I don't know. Hopefully, I sound better now. Okay. So let me go to the Jay Wilson situation. Ryan P. or Bricks the Bay, do I still sound muffled? Let me know. Because I did. I was probably touching on something that caused it to sound muffled, so I apologize for that. All right, so Jay Wilson. Yuck. Like I said, he looked like a brown snapping turtle. Um, you might ask yourself, why he do that? Why he do that? Da, da, da. Listen, that man is out here looking for jobs. When he says he has meetings are interviews. Let's be honest, okay? What Jay Wilson has found is that the older you look, the workforce is very hard for older workers. That's just the prejudice of the workforce. The younger you look, the better chance that you may be entertained. Jay Wilson probably I'm sure somebody probably told him this or maybe suggested this to him. It's like, hey, Jay, yeah, the goatee, the grayness, it kind of like tells your age without you telling your age, right? So he set up there and said, oh, you got a point. So let me shave it off and see if I come across younger, and that might give him more consideration for when he's applying for a job. So I think that's what I thought. That's what I think is why he did what he did. To be honest, all that he been through now he gonna decide to cut the goatee. That's what I feel is the reason why he did it. So that's my 2 cents. I don't like it. I think he look ugly. I just think he look weird. Just look like he said. He himself said he looked like a nerd. I just don't think he looks. I don't know. Just looks weird. Like I said, he look like a snapping turtle. A bald head, a snapping turtle, wears glasses. That's about it. So. That's all I really got to say about that. To be honest. What's the other situation? Somebody else came out with Lemon. Ugh. Look. When you ain't got no, let me see. It seems to me, I don't know. I don't. Let me just say, when I don't say I watch them, I don't watch them. I tune in. I say, okay, sometimes I get a notification or it's on my wall. I may peek in, but then I peek out because I don't. They're talking about nothing. It's nothing of no benefit to me, and I don't know those people for real. For real, I don't know those people. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how I knew how that whole situation with his tooth and his eye. Let's let's be honest. The boy's got some cosmetic challenges. Okay, the boy's got some cosmetic challenges, and I'm not a hater when I say this. But look at the levels in which he's now having to steep to in order to keep people engaged. He's now having to show various parts of his body to garner entertainment. And I'm like, yo, y'all talking about this? Y'all talking about because somebody's eye rolling back and not in an unsynchronized way? You talking about because now he got a side tooth missing, really? So now we're gonna it's slowly now y'all gonna start talking about the the armpit hair, then it's gonna go down to the navel, then it's gonna go down to the man parts, then y'all gonna start talking about his feet, which I already did, which I know you're gonna go back to that. Listen, it's just like really, are we really doing this? I want to know why Lemon are mixing gang colors. Cause ain't he part of the Crip, whatever it is, the blood? Now he mixing colors with the Crips. So like, are you trying to start a gang war over there? Like, you don't even know what color you are? That's weird to me because I know people in the Crips, they don't be wearing no other color besides the one with the Crips. And the Bloods only wear with the Bloods. And you over there with a blue do-rag. I'm like, are you okay? But anyway, unless it's a facade, I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm okay. Shit, you might have somebody pull up on you because you don't even know what gang color to wear. I'm just saying. I don't know. But, and also, I mean, don't, we as men, we judge men on it's just a man thing. Like we as men, we judge men on other men's physique. You know what I mean? When has Lemon been to the looking at that arm and him? Look at his arm. I'm like, nigga, you ain't. When the last time you been to the gym? When the last time have you curled a dumbbell? When the last time you used to see how puny his arms are? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, who you beating up? You probably gonna be swinging and flailing like Shanae. Or if you ever get into a fight, like what? Did you see it? I'm just sorry, Brixton. But I saw that. I was like, we Asher. Oops. Oh Lord, Asher's significant other, Brixton. We as men, we check out a man's arms to see his strength. You know how many men come up to me and touch like they'll is y'all gotta understand. Ron P know men will come up to other men and they will do it as a gesture as they shake their hand. They'll hit their arm or they'll squeeze their arm to see if they're strong. If they go to the gym, just as just I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's a male thing, and only men can really elaborate about that. I'll tell you about that. But when I saw that, I'm like, nah, bro. Who you protecting over there? That little thing like a motherfucking toothpick. I was like, oh Lord. I told you he do more lifting of Popeyes than he do anything. Now he ain't lifting like Popeye to get no Popeye on, but he do more lifting of Popeyes than anything. I'm just saying, child. But yeah. Oh, the gang signs. Oh Lord, I thought he was. Oh, I thought he kept covering his mouth. I don't know what it was. I thought it was cover. I thought he was doing the cover his mouth with his hand, without people picking it up. But I guess they did. I don't know. That's what they're getting gang signs. So he better stop playing with them games. You don't know. You never know. They got the gang people got mandated reporters too. Tell on your ass who's misrepresenting the gang. He better stop with that pseudo gang. Anyway, Agent 007 says Lemon has the kind of bloat that people have taking psychiatric meds. With Agent 007, I don't know, but they say that bloat coming from high blood pressure, high sodium. So, He's throwing up. Okay. Well, he keep throwing stuff up. This is the internet. The internet don't play. The internet don't play. It's a lot of people who've been ran up on for claiming fake, associations. So I hope he know what he's doing. But I don't think he know what the hell he's doing because you either a blood or you're a crip. You can't play with both. That's all I know. Ain't no cross colors in no damn gang situation. Why you sit up? Like I said before, you come out red and now you in bed blue. Mm. But anyway, the desperation of it all, and remember, get rid of that motherfucking mustache. You look ugly as hell. You look like a George Jefferson younger son or something. Get rid of that. Who told you to do that? Who is consulting you? You trying to be a public figure, and that mustache is dating you. What the hell? I was like, what is that? I mean, that does not. Anyway, like I said, this is not. That's not. It does not add to your brand. It actually makes you dated, to be honest. I think so, sister. I think, like I said before, I think there's a good majority of some women on here who are not in the company of younger men, or maybe in a committed relationship with a man who got a big ass belly, uh, bald and old, and he maybe provides them a fantasy of being able to interact with someone that they want to, rather than the one that's in their real life. So I do feel he making a lot of people fantasies maybe come true to some extent. I don't know. Agent also, I have a close relative that had the same issue. So what? Well, I mean, obviously there's an issue. 007, he always there's something going on with that hairline, right? Something going on with that hair. He got a damn what they call that do rag on 24/7. Like you do need to let your hair breathe. You might wind up with Jay Wilson because you suffocating your hair follicles. But yeah, it's just weird. It's just like you never know, people. That's all I'm saying. Does women have a lazy eye? There's something wrong with that eye, Cheryl, because in every situation that we've seen, he's always tried to obscure it, whether through glasses or something, you know? And yeah, he's got something going on. Something going on with that eye. So I don't know. If they stay off YouTube, maybe I don't know. You never know. You never know. They may live in a town where there ain't none. I don't know. They might not. I don't know. The internet is a very interesting place, but Lemon's eye. I don't. I think he knows how to disguise it, meaning he knows what angles to look at. Right. That's why he was. Y'all say gang signs, but I think that's why he was. Covering his face and all that stuff to make sure y'all ask. He knows what angles to look at and to lay down at. And I was just like, oh. Rixabay says, Soul Sister, yes, they don't know how to interact with them either. The real world trumps the virtual one. They just need to log off and get outside and then they'll see for themselves. It's sad. But y'all gotta understand, a lot of people can't, how can I say this? A lot of the real world, outside world brings a lot of anxiety to people. Not all people, some people. Enough to enough people to occupy this platform. Um, and their safe haven is inside, right? That's where they are confined to, or that's where they feel the safest at. So yeah, they might go outside to 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 to, to take out the trash, but they're not navigating in everyday society. And some people have it like that way. I don't, just because of that, who knows? They may be in a medical or physical situation or mental situation where, you know, that's their setup. So, but yeah. What's up, Heavy Bear? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. He needs to take care of that laser surgery. I don't think that's high on his priority list. I mean, there's a lot going on over there in Lemon Land. If you connect the dots, I think YouTube would probably telling us something with that whole service dog situation shit. They might know something that we don't know. But that's I don't think Lemon is a mm, forward thinking adult when it comes to that capacity. And what I mean is he's just living in the moment. It seems like he's living day to day. They living day to day. That's the best thing I can say. HTX Sweetie says that's why I think he should have a part time job in order to socialize outside of YouTube. But HTX Sweetie, I think right now he's seeing that the YouTube money, I don't know his coins, I'm not counting his coins. I'm just inferring from what I'm seeing is that the YouTube coins is better than a job, and then he could also have don't have to deal with people he don't have to, right? He could deal with the people he want to deal with, and he could stay inside all day. So, but I'm just telling you that's going to run out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, when that money stops coming in or whatever, then what? Or you have a medical emergency, then what? I mean, it's always a timetable. Everybody has their moment, you know. Everybody has their moment. So, but who knows? Maybe he, could get a position at the wine store allegedly. But Ron P, that I'm not coming at you when I'm not coming at you, Ron P. But that is a misleading statement that has been made. Not by you. I understand it doesn't come from you. It's coming from him. But that's a misleading statement, right? Because you have to take in time in regards to money, right? That's a misleading statement to say that you're the high. If he came on here for 2 hours and was able to garner 10,000 views and all that, then okay. I said okay, I can follow that. But you're on here 6 hours minimum every day. That doesn't break down as being highest paid, right? Because your time, you have no life. You spend it on here, like, and then on top of that, you can't say that because taxes, right? Right? Someone in New York and someone in Texas, they say I'm the highest paid. No, you're not. You can get 20 million in New York, and somebody in Texas making 18 million. On paper, the person in Texas is the highest paid because they're taking it home. What? The more money because they're paying less taxes. You, on the other hand, yeah, okay, you can say you're higher paid, but you're not earning the most because some of your more of your money's going to taxes. So I don't agree with that. Heavy Bear says Lemon gives away money like a billionaire, and no, but Heavy Bear, he has to. He has to because he has no talent. He has he needs those people to come on his panel. See, when I ran a panel, I didn't pay people to come on my panel. I paid them and said thank you for coming after they hit my panel, but I didn't pay them to come. There was no one on the Avatar Nation payroll. No, we weren't gonna do that. So he has to do that because one, he's addicted to positive commentary, right? So he knows that he can control these people in the narrative if he pays them or gives them some form of compensation. But that's gonna soon run out, right? And then when it stops, what you gonna really hear what they got to say? So Agent 007 says he lives with his mother because she's probably the payee for his disability check. Probably. Like I said, there's a lot going on there. And that dog, which is YouTube is telling us, it's a service dog. So yeah, look at that. Plus, right, HTXC plus the hours he spends in Discord, plus the hours he spends on individual conversations, plus the hours he spends on here, plus the hours he spends on other people's platform. Yeah, that's a lot of hours. So, what's up, Black Pearl? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Heavy Bird says he's not creative nor talented, and his charm is limited. Right. So I feel like you only can do the play or the script for so long. and he's going to probably reach out to other areas, try to bring in new characters who are hoping to get some relevancy in the social media space, and use them up as long as he can, to augment what he's got going on over there. So that's the plan. But like you said, you got to always plan for a rainy day, and he has no. And like I heard somebody talk about this today. I think it was the Heat. Her hate her ass. He doesn't really have any standalone talent. He doesn't have any standalone talent. He knows that, and that's why he has to do what he has to do to keep what's going on. So as long as he can keep it up, but that's a lot of people to maintain, and I won't say control, but keep your tabs on. So excuse me, sorry. Okay, so if y'all want to, feel free to send a gesture to $sign Crown. Going back to the economy, everything is fool's gold to me right now, because things, if you look at the prices of stuff, things are going up, right? I went into the store today, and I was like, for some deodorant, it was like, for a 2-pack, it was like $10. Like, damn. So for a stick of deodorant, it's like $5. What normally used to be like $3.50, I would say $4. What's up, DVD? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So they're gonna have an interest rate cut that's going to skyrocket. Watch in September. I think September 15th is the next Fed meeting, and it's going to skyrocket. But I wonder what's going to happen before then. I wonder if we're going to incur a crash before then, because really, this shit to me is artificially pumped up. Like, it can't be. It's just weird to me. Like, paychecks ain't keeping up, inflation's high, and then so does that mean that's a good economy? I don't know. It's just weird to me how the stock market does that. It's like it's ignoring the truth. So I don't know. That's just my what they call a tangent. Years ago, Tree Dog retired from work, but she had to go back because her YouTube money went down, and now she's relying on them. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. YouTube nonsense. Um, yeah. I think you're right about that. Everything. I think there was a lot of. I don't think it. Well, yeah, I'm not going to dispute your statement because it is true. But I think she also lost a lot of supporters. I think a lot of supporters who she was leaning on for financial support, um, just stopped supporting her for whatever reason. But Lemon. I mean, not Lemon. Tracy's a weird. She's a mosquito, and what I mean by that is she'll go wherever there's money and opportunity, just because of her life situation. That's her. Like you said, she probably is on. She probably does get government assistance to some degree. You know, so I don't know. Her YouTube journey has been weird. It's been weird. It's just really weird. Um, but yeah. Okay, so let's get to the cautionary tale of Brian and Ness. So apparently, and this is I always tell my people in Avatar Nation. They'll always tell me this. You never know who likes you more than you. Meaning, you never know. Yes, somebody could be your strong supporter, but you don't know if they like somebody else more than you. I always tell them that. Like, you don't know if somebody else likes you more than you. You could be dealing with somebody every day and like, oh yeah, we good Judies, but they like somebody else more than you. And that's the situation what you got going on with Brian and Ness. So based on what I'm hearing or what I saw, Brian's over there still good friends with the Heat. And as we know, the Heat and Ness, they fell out, right? But it seems to me the way Ness is reacting is that Ness didn't know that Brian was so close to the Heat. And Brian had plans to go to Nesscation, right? That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like it's just weird. I mean, it's not weird, but it's crazy to me like that there was no inclination that Ness knew how much Brian liked the Heat. You get what I'm saying? So now I guess Ness has disinvited Brian to Nesscation, which I don't blame her for, because you don't know who going to get what kind of information, right? And Brian was up there talking to the Heat, and there was some stuff that came up about that whole situation in Miami, how, the hygienic situation and all that. I'm not going to go into that because I feel like that was a vulnerable moment for Ness and stuff. And when you hear that kind of stuff and somebody repeating that, then especially dealing with personal hygiene and all that, that could be kind of traumatic because obviously, that person was going through something, and to hear that be rebroadcasted, that's kind of crazy. Well, but what was crazy to me was that he is taking credit for Ness's like success, kind of in a way. And I'm like, no, like we knew Ness way before you popped up, and I remember vividly that we were only saying that if you only really attracted to Ness because of her popularity in the YouTube streets. And in a way, I felt that he thought that she wanted that kind of popularity. But Brian, that just ain't gonna work out. That just ain't gonna work out just because of their tumultuous situation. And I'm not one of these people. Like I live by a motto. I'm sorry, I just am. You cannot be my good friend and also be a friend with my nemesis. No, I don't believe in that. I don't want to be bothered with you because obviously there is something not right and we're not thinking the same. That's just how I feel. We're not thinking the same. And you can sit up here and be my good friend, but you also friend with my nemesis. Like that's just weird. That's just weird to me. Like that's just weird. Like I think I don't know. Wasn't that the situation with Pizarro? I mean, with Brianna and Kimmy and Pizarro, some shit like that. That's just in my life. I don't need that because I don't know what you said about me that might be advantageous to my enemy. I don't. I can't. I don't need them problems. I don't need them problems. No, 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 no. So I just think that Ness made the right decision. Sorry, Brian, to disinvite you because we don't know what you might be. You might be on a tactical espionage mission yourself. And another thing is money changes things. Money changes things. So apparently Brian got money from. No, no, I don't know why he told his business about the beach is better because that wasn't necessary. But apparently, he got money from the Heat when he was going through that situation. So when people are on people's payroll, and I'm not saying he's on her payroll, but when people financially contribute to that, that changes things because they now have an avenue to get you to do, or you may feel loyal to them because of that. So I totally agree, and that's some deep stuff that went down between the Heat and Ness. But it's another also a cautionary tale of don't put like love on YouTube ain't would never work out. Would never work out. Even if y'all really do love each other, there are going to be instances where y'all have a negative situations, and a person's always going to have the ability and the right to come on this platform and vent and blast and all that, and tell things that happened 10 years ago if something should bring it up to this day. Like they up there talking about Flow. Flow ain't been on this application for 4 years. Why are we bringing up Flow? You see what I'm saying? Like even the people would escape, go to Alcatraz, go do something, it's still gonna come back on here if they did it. So it's just very interesting. All this stuff. So weird. All right, let me see what y'all saying in the chat real quick. Uh, okay, Heavy Bear says the B section of subbies used to be very generous, but that's changed. And only a fool would depend on Google and the subbies. I mean, yeah, that's a correct statement. But if you the top act at the moment, then people will throw money at you, especially if they know they could go on, they could get your time. But there's unlimited time to that though, especially when you don't have no talent. Like it's different if he could then evolve. You know what I'm saying? If you have talent, you know how to shift things up and stuff like that. But when you become dependent on the participants of your show, see what's going to happen is there's going to be momentum is going to be gained that Lemon needs us, right? And then what's going to happen is there's going to be a shift where people are going to say, okay, he needs us. See, he's going to do something. I don't know, curse at the wrong person, say something, and or going to offend a lot of people, and they may use that power play on him to have him suffer. People do that. They tried that whole Briiine thing that they just went over and said, "Oh, don't hit Sir King Link." That's what they did. So there may be a situation where somebody else comes up and coming and may move the shift, and they may say, "Oh, don't he needs y'all. He needs y'all. Y'all don't need him. Boycott his link, and then see what happens." And I don't wish that on nobody because that's not right. But those are the things that people do on here. Especially if it's a lot of shit that goes on in the background, and I'm sure some people know, some people don't know. But if he offends the right person, they might sit up there and lead a movement on that. So who knows? That's why I say you have to evolve. You have to keep evolving. You have to maximize the moment while it's here because it's not going to always be here. People may get tired of you. Like just people may get just tired of you. You may have turned people off because now they know you don't have all your teeth. They may get disgusted that you have a rolling eye or your eyes are not in sync. Because this is a business of the aesthetics. It really is. And if people don't like what they see, they may sit up here and say, "Nah, I didn't know he, I didn't know he was like, I didn't know he like that, Even though I saw him, no, So people are very finicky, So, uh, that's what I got to say about that. So, Barbara Warren says his birthday was on a weekend and he really not out clubbing or laid up wasting his youth. Yeah, Barbara Warren, he is wasting his youth. Um, but like I said, we don't understand. This may be his club. This may be his social club. He may not have a social club out there, right? He probably has way more interaction with people who care for him, who show him praise online than they do offline. You know. So, what's up, the Queen Bee for you reacts? Have you read Seattle's very expensive city, and I hope they are planning to meet there. Yes, they are planning to meet there. Agent Double said if he's smart, he would choose the Heat. Ness is a take taker, never a giver. Yeah, but mm, that's a yes and no. Because with Brian, he likes attention. Ness has a strong following that he could benefit from. The Heat, not so much. You know what I'm saying? So he can follow the Heat and follow into obscurity or maintain his rapport with Ness and maintain relevancy. It's all contingent on what's the most important to him. Barbara wants so he doesn't have a choice. Ness chose Ness. Heavy versus I wonder if he's generous with his family like he is with the contest creators. Um if you notice, if you notice what's going on, he's coming on earlier, right? He's and I'm. This is me being perceptive, and I may be motherfucking wrong. I think he's coming on earlier because his mother maybe comes later. And in order to stop what's going on, that discord that y'all hear happening between them, he needs to shift his schedule in order to make sure that that kind of doesn't happen or doesn't happen as much. So, look into it like that. But I do feel like, nah, like somebody's always said, I think she already getting compensated because of that situation. That's what I can say. That's what I would say. But it's up to him whether or not he want to break her off something. But I do think he breaking her off something because he already told her about it. So when his mama sound kind of rough and McGruff, so she might say, "You pay up, homeboy." So I don't know. One of the things I learned is not share mods because you fall out. The mods may choose to go away from you. I've seen that happen. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Junji, you can't tell me you do great commentary and then come back with this bullshit. I don't come back with the bullshit. I don't. That's what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is where I'm in. I switch it up. So there's people here. I know my numbers. So my numbers, they're here for the bullshit. They're not here for me talking about stock prices, inflation, and other stuff that's going on in the world. No. So I mix it up. So that's why I'm talking about the bullshit. Heavy Bear says, "Wow, going to Seattle when they could barely afford to visit Tacoma or Portland, Oregon." Um, well, that's what Ness is. Ness is in Seattle, so you can either afford to make that trip or not, or not. So I don't know. It's just weird. Things are all weird, 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 weird. I wish people would go with a meet and greet, but I think it's too dangerous to be honest, because there's so many with the integration, if you want to call it integration, but the mixing of the different sectors. There's people coming with different motives, man. It ain't pure beef sector. It's people, like I say, who behind the scenes, who say, "Oh, let's do that, do this, do that, see if you can do that," and all that. I mean, you just, I don't know. I guess she needs to bring Pookie and Ray Ray with her to Seattle to make sure she got some security in case things go down. You know, I think Ness has learned that how to talk to your audience. Like, when Ness does say stuff, she says it in a tone and uses analogies that you can tell it's a joke. And most times. Before she wasn't doing that. She was calling them sluts and why you guys ain't doing this and felt entitled. I felt like she had to step back, reflect, and say, "What's this going on? Why they doing me like this?" And she's making that change. So it's a journey, definitely a journey. Yeah, it's a bullshit kind of night. She's in a small city. I don't dox. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Anything else? Anybody got any other questions? That's my commentary, pretty much, regarding what's going on. So we'll see. I think Brian is a person that likes drama. As you know, he recently got his window busted out, and I just think Brian is the person that survives the drama. Now, the interesting thing about Brian is like Brian was just laid up in a hospital on the verge of death a couple months ago, and now God has blessed him and healed him to a capacity where he's keeping up these shenanigans. It's like, I don't know. It's like, but you could do what you want to do with a second chance. I was just thinking about that. It's like, damn, he coming back out here with all the shenanigans, ain't he? But I guess he living his life to the fullest, I guess. Right? So, all right. With that being said, I'm out of here. Anything else, y'all? That's my commentary. That's all I really got to say. If you want to, feel free to suggest your $sign, Sir King Crown. Um, no, I know that, but people, Heavy Bear, you gotta understand. Like people run with anything. Like they lie so much. So I just put out that disclaimer because people lie. They're like, "Oh, you said you in a small town and da 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 da," and, people run and have you think that they actively doing stuff. So, I've been through this situation on countless occasions. So that's why I say that, but to protect you and I, um, if the bone carriers want to elaborate and embellish. So, but that's what people do. Thank you, Ron P. Other than that, that's about it. I'm gonna head on out. I gotta get some rest. I'll talk to y'all later. Be the change you want to see in the world, and make sure y'all take care of y'all health. Be careful what y'all eat. Oh, they had something on Instagram talking about that great. Hold on, let me see if that's true. 1 second, while I got y'all here. Hold on. Great value. I told you about my journey with that, with the whole Walmart stuff. I was like, oh hell no! I think it was a sauna. I never again. Great value seafood. Anyway. Wow. Damn, that is true. Wow. Okay. Because sometimes, like, when you see stuff on social media, you can't believe it. So, this is what I want to share with y'all. Because I was like, I don't believe that. Listen, so I just looked up. They recalling if you eat great value shrimp, they recalling it because the shrimp could possibly be radioactive. The shrimp could be radioactive, y'all. Can you believe that? Like, wow. So please, y'all, do not eat that shrimp, that great value shrimp at Walmart. It could be radioactive. I'm not lying, y'all. I'm not lying. Go check it out. It's on. I saw it on social media. I said, okay, they playing. So now I went back and I just checked it as I'm talking to y'all because I wanted to share it with y'all, but I wanted to check and see if it was real first. Yeah, they said Walmart recalls its frozen shrimp in 13 states, citing potential radioactive contamination. Walmart has recalled frozen raw shrimp sold in 13 states because federal health officials say it could have potential radioactive contamination. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration asked Walmart to pull 3 lots of Great Value brand frozen shrimp from stores after federal officials detected cesium-137, a radioactive isotope, in shipping containers and a sample of breaded shrimp imported from Indonesia. The products could pose a potential health concern for people exposed to low levels of cesium, sorry, cesium-137 over time. If you have recently purchased raw frozen shrimp from Walmart that matches the description, throw it away. No, go get a refund. I tell you to throw it away. Go get a refund. The risk for recall shrimp is quite low. But anyway, cesium, sorry, I don't know how you say this. Cesium 137 is a byproduct of nuclear reactions, including nuclear bombs testing, reactor operations, and accidents. It's widespread around the world with trace amounts found in the environment, including soil, food, and air. The level detected in the frozen breaded shrimp was far lower than FDA intervention levels. However, the agency said avoiding potentially contaminated products could, reduce exposure to low level radiation that could lead to health problems over time. Damn right. If you keep eating that, it's gonna accumulate. Like what? So that's crazy, insane. Joyce Goodwin says I heard about that. If you didn't hear about it, throw it away. Don't eat no great value shrimp. Okay. Uh, yeah, I heard that, but I'm not knocking the boycott. I'm sure it had an effect on that, but also a lot of that stuff is, a lot of stuff from Target comes like, how can I say this, Cheryl? They were in a decline anyway because a lot of that stuff deals with discretionary items, like they're not essentials. That's why Walmart kills them because Walmart deals with groceries, which are essential, whereas Target doesn't. It's discretionary. Like you don't need to buy a chair, you don't need to buy a table, but you definitely need to eat. So but yeah, and then they got rid of their CEO too. So it's a culmination of things, to be honest. So it's crazy to buy meat from a grocery that doesn't have a dedicated butcher or distribution chain. True, but yeah, I don't think I think, to be honest, Target may want to be one of those stores that go bye bye. I honestly feel that. I know people say, "Oh, they got strong brand recognition," but to me, they don't. They're just a store. Like they don't offer, in my eyes, anything significantly different. And these tough times, their prices are higher. Always been higher. So, you know, I don't know. I guess they're an alternative to Walmart. I guess, but people are going down, shopping down to Walmart. So Russia, there is even problems with dog food too. Yeah, there's problems everywhere, in that distribution chain. So hopefully they'll find a way to fix it. Well, with that being said, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take care now. Have a good one. Be the change y'all want to see in the world, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all. See y'all later.
Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.
Canvas.
Sir King. Sir King.